Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Samuel with Cedar Pine Designs, and in today's video I am working on this beautiful 9-drawer mid-century dresser. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with it, but as the project went on I kind of just found something that I was interested, so let's get started. So if you've ever watched my videos, you know that I like to remove all the drawers and give this thing a good once over just so I can make sure that it's nice and sturdy and it doesn't need any kind of repairs. And for this dresser, it is in really great shape. After removing that last drawer, I did find some sort of tickets. I haven't looked them up, but it looks like it's some sort of like sugar tour or something. Not really sure. I also found a calligraphy book that has different types of fonts in it. And I did find this weird little tie-dye rag, not sure what that was for, but I've gotten some suggestions from some viewers in the comments that say why I don't vacuum opposed to blowing the dresser out with my blower. Vacuuming it is really good, but I did find that it takes a little bit more time, but it also is a little more cleanly and it doesn't create as much dust. So after a lot of my viewers had told me that using degreasers is typically not good because a lot of times I don't wear masks while I'm using it, so it's not anything that you want to be breathing in. So I just switched to some water with a little bit of Dawn dish soap. And you can see right here that I'm using a small little scraper flathead screwdriver. This is a spot that typically people would probably miss, but from painting a lot of furniture, I noticed that after you paint, it really does look pretty terrible in those corners if you don't scrape all that stuff out. So I try to go the extra mile and clean up all those little minor details that people may skip over. So I started out sanding this piece with 150 grit sandpaper, and I started to get through to the bare wood underneath, but it was really a pain. So I decided to just strip the top coat off so that sanding it would be a lot easier. I'm using Clean Strips Premium Stripper. This stuff works really good. This is one of the only chemical strippers I've used since I discovered it, and this stuff is peeling off fairly easy. One of the things that does help a lot is if you use plastic, and a lot of times I forget to put plastic, and as you can tell, the edges don't really scrape off like they should, but it's fine. I'm gonna sand it and it's gonna turn out great. And I am using some odorless mineral spirits just so I can clean off all that excess finish that came off with the stripper, and it also acts as a deactivator for the stripper so that it doesn't continue to sit there and eat away at your project. So I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with this piece. I thought I had a plan in mind, so I started stripping down the legs, the base, and the top, and I planned on kind of doing like a tan wash to the whole entire thing, but midway through I remembered that I had some paint that I wanted to try out, so I came up with a color scheme for this one that you will see coming up pretty soon here. So I decided to just leave the top and the base with the legs a natural wood, and I'm going to be painting the body. So now that the top has had some time to dry, I am sanding it with 150 grit and 220 grit sandpaper just to get it nice and smooth. And this has to be the star of the show. I love this Surf Prep sander. Typically I would hand sand and scuff sand all of these areas just with a piece of sandpaper, and it is very timely, but this stuff goes by fairly quickly if you have one of those sanders because it contours over all of the curves and edges, and it just makes it a breeze to get through all of that sanding. I love it. Also, I love the square profile of it because it allows me to sand all of these smaller areas like you see here without having to sand it by hand. So I am using a whitewash because without it, the veneer on the top is has a lot of red hue in it. If you would have noticed earlier when I was using some mineral spirits, it did turn really red, and that is not what I want for this piece. So this whitewash is going to act as a barrier to kind of give it a bleached look while also keeping it from soaking up any of the top coat and I'm doing the same for the legs just so that it matches the top, and it is a really cool look that I like to do. So I'm using Dixie Bell's clear coat in a satin finish. Big shout out to Dixie Bell for providing me with some products to try on one of my projects, and I decided that this was the one. I'm doing about 4 coats of their clear coat with some light scuff sanding in between each coat with 400 grit sandpaper. And now that the legs and the top are protected with that clear coat, I'm going to be masking it off so that I can protect it while I paint the body. And the color that I chose for this piece is one of my favorite colors, but I have to say the finish on this particular color from Dixie Bell is one of the best colors that I've used so far, especially the finish. I've used the color before, but the finish is amazing. So this is Dixie Bell's all-in-one mineral paint in the color Anchor. It is a really nice black. You'll see the finished product of it later. I am diluting it with a little bit of water so that it works well with my HVLP spray gun. And I was really happy with the way that some of the pieces that they have already previewed on their website in this color looked. So I was really excited to try it. I'm going to be doing about 3, I think I did 4 coats. It does say on the container that it's 2 coats for full coverage, but it does depend on how you're applying it. Since spraying, the coats are a lot thinner than it is to brush it, I opted to do about 4 coats. Now these metal inserts are very unique to this piece. I wasn't sure what it was inside. I thought it was like a contact paper, but it's actually like a granite, and it looks really cool, so I decided to tape it off just to give it some contrast for those drawers. And you're going to see that later on in the video as well. For the handles, I was hoping that they were solid brass, but after I started to try to polish one, it started turning a copper color. I guess it was just like brass coated. So I decided to do a technique that I really like the results of. I give it a couple of coats of oil brushed bronze. This new can that I'm using is bare. The store that I usually get it from doesn't carry it anymore. And while those are drying, I'm using some Big Mama's Butter by Dixie Bell to freshen up all the wood on the sides of the drawers. And then I'm using this gold gilding wax to give it a nice patinaed look so that it has that nice oil brush bronze underneath that gold gilding wax, and it is going to look so good next to that Anchor black paint. If you know me, you know that at this point of the project I am super excited because putting the handles on means that I am almost done and I get to finally see what all of my hard work and my vision, come together, and I get to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And I have to say, those patinaed handles look so good against that black. The black to me is almost a flat black, and I never really thought that I would use a flat black because satin was usually my go-to, but that sheen is amazing against this sealed whitewash top and legs. So I'd like to take a quick moment to thank everybody for all the positive feedback that I got from my last restoration video, where I took a trashed roadside piece and turned it into a treasure. It seemed like everybody liked all of that work that I did, and they really like that kind of content. So I will be doing a mixture of these flips and those restorations. So just look forward to more of those videos. And right here I am using some paste wax to wax all the drawer slides so that the drawers slide in nice and smooth, and that way this thing is not only beautiful but functional as well. So let's put the rest of these drawers in and take a look at how this turned out. When I first started this project, I had no idea that it was going to turn out this beautiful. That black Anchor paint by Dixie Bell is my favorite new black, against that natural color. Is super amazing. So really quickly, let's go over the numbers on this one. I did pay $100 for this, and a big shout out to Dixie Bell for providing all of the material for this. I did have to buy a little bit more of the black paint, which was $40, so that puts me in at $140. And before I could even list this for sale, one of my clients reached out to me to see if I had anything. They loved it, and we agreed on a price of $900, which leaves me a profit of $760. And it took me somewhere around 7 to 8 hours to do this piece, and I'm super happy with the quick turnaround, and this project is one of my favorite top 5s.